I wasn't even going to watch this video because I already covered it hours ago. But I don't know, something told me to press play on Tim Pool's coverage of the Ocasio-Cortez, Cherie Murray situation. And in his breakdown of the video, he kind of grazes over a major point that I really feel needs to be highlighted. See, he starts talking about the Green New Deal. And, well, there's something about the jobs that would need to be created that I really want to go in on. So, let's rock.
New Deal. The left-wing proposal to address climate change pushed by Ocasio-Cortez, she said, we know that it certainly will kill jobs. Right, it will.
Now, first and foremost, when it comes to the Green New Deal, her campaign manager, Chakrabarti, or I think that's her chief of staff now, her Chakrabarti said that it was literally, it has nothing to do with the climate, it has everything to do with changing the American economy.
Green New Deal is absurd, and here's my favorite part about it: guaranteed jobs. Look, let me inform you guys about something. I went to Venezuela in 2014. Okay, this is important, and I saw firsthand how bureaucratic jobs guarantees is terrifying. For one, the mall I went to, look, I didn't go on some Potemkin village tour. I didn't have government minders. I had a local guy who was like, hey, let me take you to the mall. Tons of empty shops. We ate with no problem. This is true. We went to a restaurant. It was actually great.
Okay, so the bureaucratic job situation, you don't need to go to Venezuela to see that. You can come to any urban community in the United States and you'll see it all over the place. And no, not to the same extent as you would in Venezuela, because we're the United States. It looks different. But, I mean, if you can see the waistline of some of the people in these areas, you know nobody's really going hungry. But it's a matter of how efficient the funds that are used on these jobs, how efficient they are. And what a lot of these jobs end up being is just means in which to create more problems and create more issues, and to like to put people in places to basically just give them a check and waste time.
An arepa, and it was like avocado and chicken mashed together. Really, really good. And you can get them around in the U.S. It's a fantastic dish. So in Venezuela, however, I went to go get a cell phone, and that was a nightmare. There were like 5 or 6 different counters I had to go to, because my understanding, I could be wrong, but what I was told by locals was, hey, look, when you need jobs, this is what they do. In the United States, I walk in a T-Mobile or whatever, and I say, I need a cell phone, and the guy says, here you go, here's a phone. I sign a paper, swipe a card, I'm good to go. In Venezuela,
Okay, so whereas our corporate entities here in the U.S., yeah, they knock it out without question. But if you ever go, particularly when it comes to governments, if you ever go and have you ever tried to operate within an urban government facility, like, let's say Newark City Hall or Camden City Hall or Trenton City Hall, like any of these places, you're really gonna run into a lot of the same issues that the T-Mobile and the Verizon guy had. A lot of the blockades and the bureaucracy that Tim talks about here. It's just in different ways. It's just in different forms. But that's really why our taxes are so damn high in particularly Jersey, but throughout the country, is because we have a lot of bureaucracy that invented jobs that are there just for the sake of being there. And it also works in corporate America as well. I mean, if you've ever worked for one of the larger brands, you have managers that implement policies and ideas just for the sake of saying, oh yeah, I did this thing that made us oh so much better, to justify their own paychecks. And it happens all the time, all over the place. And you know what? If a company wants to do that, fine. But when it comes to our governments doing it, which they are adept at, no.
Go to the front desk and tell them what I was looking for, then go to that specific desk, then they would say, okay, now you've picked your plan, now go to the acquisition desk, then I'd go to it was just weird bureaucracy.
It was just like the DMV, right? I mean, that's the thing. It goes over his head And golly, I love you, Tim. Yeah, I think you're a really good dude and you're doing the best that you can. So in no way, shape, or form am I trying to disparage Tim Pool, but I don't think he sees the parallels that are easy to see. Very easy to see, but we actually, we have different backgrounds, we do different things. So, I mean, I don't think he'd be able to connect those dots like that. But if he were, then I wouldn't have any reason to make this video now, would I?
And my understanding, I could be wrong, but it seemed like that's what you get with government-mandated jobs. The locals told me, the guy was...
That's what you get with government, period. With a T. How's that? Period. That's how you get... That's what you get with the government, period, because that's their solution, is to, give themselves fantastic budgets and then make reasons for people to get jobs. And that's not to say every government job is unnecessary or, like people are overpaid, because I know tons of folks that work in government that are way underpaid, but those are more local and municipal workers as opposed to state workers and federal workers.
Showing me around. When you need to have jobs, they just make them up. So instead of having a streamlined and simple process, they just jam people in places where it doesn't make sense so they can justify having a job. But I'll tell you this.
And that's also not so different than what an HR department eventually became. I mean, yeah, you need, like, we've developed the need because of lawsuits and everything else like that for HR departments, but at the same time, I mean, there was once a time in this country where a job was agreed upon over a scotch and a handshake. Can you dig it? So as we've proceeded, we've gotten a lot more nuanced and a lot more, I guess intricate or technical in the amounts of bureaucracy that we have, and our government and our powers that be will have proven that they will create the circumstances necessary to justify, at least publicly justify, why they need to make these different jobs and different positions.
It strains resources. You are then allocating resources to people who are doing things that don't need to be done, and it slows everything down. It's a bad idea. So no.
Yeah. Sort of like our governments, right? And when I say governments, I mean governments with an S. At the state, local, county, and federal level. All four. Like, seriously.
Government mandated jobs, not a good idea, but let's read on. Murray joins 4 other Republicans who have filed to run for the seat. Former police officer John Cummings, medical journal... Okay,
so that's really where I think we're going to be ending this video, because I've covered all of this, but when he makes this when he makes this argument, that parallel is just so vivid in my mind that I wanted to make sure I took a moment and pointed it out to my audience as well, let you guys see, yeah, that same situation with that T-Mobile Verizon, it goes towards, you can put it towards any business, any government entity, and it still persists. It's rock solid. So, with that being said, if you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike it, do that too. I'm not scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get more videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube's definitely not going to do it. And speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Do you see the parallels that I'm coming up with, or is it, hey Jay, you're being a little paranoid here, and stop picking on Tim Pool? Let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next one.